The story of the slot machine is one of intrigue, theft, controversy, and murder. Okay, not murder, but everything else I said there. And it all starts in Bavaria. Augustinus Charles Fey was the youngest of 16 children born in 1862 in the small village of Vohringen in Bavaria, which sits on the edge of the Alps. Early on, he displayed an interest in mechanics. He decided to follow in his brother's footsteps and worked in a farm tool factory in Munich. At 15, August hit the road, apparently fearful of his strict father and not wanting to serve in the military, and walked across Europe. He stopped in France for about 3 years, working as an intercom equipment manufacturer, and then made his way to a British shipyard, approximately 750 miles and an English channel away from home. It was there that he settled down for 5 years as a nautical instrument maker. Several years before, August's uncle on his mother's side had moved to and settled in New Jersey. The family received letters from him talking of fortune and the good life that America provided. So August saved his money and made the pilgrimage to the United States. He arrived in New Jersey and lived with his uncle's family in Hoboken, the birthplace of baseball, but quickly made the decision to try his hand out in San Francisco. He arrived there in approximately 1884 or 1885 at around 23 years old. Surviving maps of San Francisco from the late 19th century show numerous gambling halls, opium dens, and brothels dotting the city, with each vice-ridden location color-coded on the maps. Despite this, little was done at the time by the local government and the police force about these illegal establishments. In this environment, Fey used his skills as a mechanic and found a job at California Electric Works, later Western Electric, which went defunct in 1995. He worked as an instrument maker and, while doing this, befriended a German foreman, Theodor Holtz, who's going to come into this story again a little bit later. It was also about this time that he met Marie Christian Volkmar, the daughter of a cigar shop owner, and he fell in love with her. Unfortunately, he contracted consumption, aka tuberculosis, and hit the road again, this time for warmer weather in Mexico. While there, his health did not improve, and so he returned to San Francisco. He figured that if he was going to die, it might as well be near the woman he loved. He miraculously got better, potentially due to the controversial use of creosote obtained through the distillation of tar, and he married Marie in 1889. They would go on to have 4 children together. To top off the metamorphosis going on in his life, August Charles Fey changed his name to Charles Fey, reportedly because he hated being called Gus. At this point, Fey began tinkering. Always a fan of making money, he frequented the gambling halls of San Francisco and noticed the so-called nickel in the slot machines that were rapidly becoming popular. These machines were much closer to vending machines than what we like to think of today as slot machines. They would dispense cigars or drink tickets. These also usually required a human, the cigar shop owner or barkeep, to give you your prize. The most popular ones were the poker machines that would actually flip real playing cards on 5 reels, revealing the hand. The better the hand, the more drink and cigar tickets you earned. These types of machines were so ubiquitous that a San Francisco Daily News headline noted, 1,500 swindling machines in one city. In 1893, Fey thought he could make a better gambling machine. His work friend Theodor Holtz introduced him to another German who was working at California Electric Works, Gustav Friedrich Wilhelm Schulze. On August 8, 1893, Schulze had patented his own coin-operated apparatus called the horseshoe. This was the first US patent issued for a gambling machine and was the first to somewhat resemble what we now know of today as a modern slot machine. In fact, some historians have argued that Schulze, not Frey, should be the one known as the Thomas Edison of slot machines, but that's something we're going to come back to later. But either way, Fey was impressed by the horseshoe and went to work on his own coin-operated apparatus. In 1894, Fey designed a version of the horseshoe, quite simply the same machine, but with a better mechanical reel, and asked Holtz to be his equal business partner and not Schulze. Holtz agreed, and they both quit their jobs at California Electric, setting up shop as Holtz & Fey Electric Works at 39 Stevenson Street. Purposefully, they positioned their shop close to Schulze's shop, who had quit his job to make gambling machines. This should have set up a rivalry, except for the fact that Holtz & Fey were selling leftover parts to Schulze. This is presumably because Schulze had no clue that they were also making gambling machines and had essentially stolen his idea. In any event, in the basement of his house in 1895, Fey completed his next mechanical wonder, an even more modified version of the horseshoe that he called the 41144, in homage to a popular lottery game at the time called Policy, in which the rare winning sequence was 41144. This machine is one of the reasons so many people give Fey the credit for inventing the slot machine. It was a 3-disc floor machine, and it was unlike any other ever created because instead of spitting out tokens or slips, it had the ability to dispense actual coins. They put it in a local San Francisco saloon, and it was a hit and a huge moneymaker. Fey and Holtz went to work producing more, but before they got very far, Fey once again went packing. Fey sold his share of the company with Holtz to start his own company, Charles Fey & Company. Holtz also founded his own company and called it Novelty Machine Works. In 1897, Fey further staked his claim as the Thomas Edison of slot machines when he devised the card bell slot machine, a 3-reel staggered stop machine with automatic payout. Essentially, what it did was stagger the stops, first one reel, then the second, and then the third. At first, he used playing card symbols, but 2 years later he replaced them with stars and bells and called it the Liberty Bell slot machine. With 10 symbols on each reel and 10 stops, it allowed for numerous combinations. It was unlike anything else on the market, including Schultz's machines. It should be noted here that technically slot machines at this time were illegal, though most law officials rarely policed this. As such, even though Schultz was awarded a patent in 1893 for his machine, when he tried to sue Holtz, the courts ruled that the patent didn't protect him because a gambling machine was illegal. Because of this, the gambling and slot machine industry from then on was a bit like the Wild West. Ideas, designs, and concepts were being stolen right and left. As for Fey, he never patented any of his machines nor sold or leased them. He would operate them by himself, making agreements with the proprietors, bars, cigar shops, etc., for a 50-50 split of the profits. In the end, Fey's machines were a hit and became the largest slot operation in the country during the early 1900s. So I really hope you found that video interesting. If you did, please do hit that thumbs up button below. And if you're looking for something else to watch right now, why not check out another channel I do called Biographics. It's biographies of notable people from the present day as well as history. So please do check that out. You'll find a link in the description below. And as always, thank you for watching.